Welcome, wanderers of Twilight. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a single bloom of Miss DuskRose's tale. In a city named Luthienne, a painter named Eleanor Vale works in her attic during twilight, her favorite time of day. As she paints a sunset, the sky takes on an unnerving, fiery crimson color. A pulsing, fiery rose of light materializes in her hand, and the bells of the nearby cathedral ring at the wrong hour. Eleanor then hears a guttural growl and sees dark, inhuman shapes slinking through the streets below. She realizes that the familiar comfort of twilight has become a source of fear. Chapter 1. The Painter's Sky. Twilight came softly to Luthienne, painting the city in hues that never lingered long enough. From her attic window, Eleanor Vale watched the rooftops blur beneath a veil of fog while the last light of day burned crimson across the river. She balanced her palette on one hand, brush poised in the other, eyes narrowed in fierce concentration. Her world existed in these fleeting moments, the hush between sun and moon, when colors breathed and shadows reached. While the rest of the city hurried to close their shops and light their lanterns, Eleanor painted. Tonight her canvas was alive with strokes of gold, violet, and the faintest line of silver. She moved quickly, chasing the way the sky shifted by the heartbeat. Oil smeared across her fingers, staining her skin, but she hardly noticed. Each brushstroke felt less like art and more like a prayer. "Too much crimson again," she whispered, dabbing her brush in indigo. She swept it across the horizon, softening the angry blaze of red into a cooler violet. The change was subtle, but she felt the air in her chest loosen, as though the city itself approved. Her mentor, Master Bareth, would scold her for working alone after curfew, but she preferred the solitude. The day was noisy and heavy, all barter and bells. Only dusk listened. Below her window, the streets were winding down. Vendors called their last bargains over the clatter of cartwheels. A ferryman's voice carried from the docks, urging stragglers aboard before the fog thickened. From the square drifted the smell of roasted chestnuts and lamp oil. In the distance, the dawn cathedral's bells rang their low, solemn chant, bidding farewell to the sun. Ordinary sounds, ordinary scents, and yet, something felt different. The sky was holding on too long, the sun dragging its descent as if reluctant to give itself to night. The air thickened with color, heavy and sharp, as though every breath Eleanor drew tasted of copper. She stepped closer to the window, brush still in hand, heart tightening. Her gaze lifted. The horizon flared, not gold, not gentle violet, but a deep, savage crimson that split the sky like a wound. The cathedral spires glowed in its light, their stained glass windows bleeding fire. The river caught the reflection, turning black water into molten flame. Eleanor's breath caught. She set her brush down, trembling. The air hummed around her, faint as a string plucked in the dark. She pressed a hand against her chest, willing her heartbeat to steady. And then it came. A warmth bloomed in her palm, first faint, then stronger, pulsing like a hidden heartbeat. She lifted her hand slowly, fingers shaking. The glow seeped through her skin, curling into veins of light that converged at the center of her palm. A shape unfolded. A rose. Its petals shimmered, translucent and burning, each edge tipped with scarlet fire. The glow drenched her small attic room in shades of violet and gold, making her unfinished canvas look pale in comparison. Eleanor staggered back, knocking over her easel. The canvas fell with a crash, smearing paint across the floorboards. But she couldn't look away from her hand. The rose pulsed again. Once, twice, like it was alive. Her lips parted, a whisper escaping before she knew it. "What are you?" The cathedral bells tolled suddenly, their sound deeper, sharper, as though struck by something unseen. Eleanor froze. It wasn't the hour for them to ring. And worse, beneath the peal of iron, she heard another sound. A growl, low, guttural, rising from the streets below. Not the bark of a dog, nor the rumble of a cartwheel. Something older, something wrong. The glow in her palm flared. Eleanor stumbled to the window, heart hammering. Through the mist, she glimpsed the movement of shadows slipping against the lamplight. Shapes too long, too sharp, crawling where no human should crawl. Her rose burned hotter, as if answering them. Outside, the people of Luthienne were closing shutters and doors, rushing inside, whispering prayers. But Eleanor could only stand frozen in the attic, the light in her hand painting her pale face with fire. Twilight had always been her comfort. Tonight, it had teeth. And something in the dark was coming for her. But dusk never ends here. Stay with me, for the next chapter of Miss DuskRose awaits.